you're well, and I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today we'll be doing our grade 8 English lesson, which is also advanced writing on usage errors, right? And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once you've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to scroll down to the chapter of the subject of language arts, grade 8, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to the chapter of usage errors. Right? So our chapter is usage errors. The subject is English language arts, grade 8, advanced writing. And then the lessons that we are going to focus on under the chapter of usage errors is to correct errors with signs and to correct errors in everyday use. All right, so that is going to be our lessons for today and our chapter of usage errors. And we are doing our tutorial lesson on aplusstudents.ca. All right, so usage errors, right? It is basically grammatical errors that are part of a text that do not follow standard grammar rules. So it is grammatical errors that one makes, right? And grammatical errors are part of the text that do not follow the standard grammar rules. Also, certain words that does not, for example, fit within that specific sentence. And some examples, right, of usage errors include errors involving, it can either be a part of a speech or parts of speech, can be a word error, can be a word order, or a subject verb agreement, or it can even be a verb tense consistency, right? It can even be words when you don't know how to differentiate, or let's say an example. Let me give you an example, right? If you use the word, if you confuse the word there and you confuse the word there. So if you confuse those words, that is a usage error because you use the incorrect grammatical word, right, within a specific sentence. Right? So it is grammatical errors. It's parts of a text that do not follow standard grammar rules. And there I made an example even. If you maybe use the word there instead of they, if you use the word much instead of many or many instead of much, if you maybe use the word less instead of few, right? Those are all words that are incorrect within a specific sentence, right? Because we need to know which specific word to use within a specific sentence or context. And if we look at a few grammatical errors, right? Here we have examples of sentences with grammatical errors, right? The mistakes are in red, and then next to it, right, they have corrected the mistakes and then they also wrote it in green to see how it needs to be written. Because remember, writing, it's honestly, it's a process, right? And using the correct grammar within writing is important because you can be marked down when you maybe need to write essays or you need to write paragraphs or you need to write certain, either soon you'll be writing articles eventually, but essays, right? So the mistake that that one makes, right, is where you say, for example, there are so much people. So there we have the word much, right? There are so much people. And the correct way that we need to actually write that sentence is saying there are so many people. So we don't say there's so much people. We need to say there are so many people. You see, so that is also the example that I made of there and there, right? Being able to differentiate between the two. It's the same like much and many. I am 22 year. So we don't say I'm 22 year or 22 years. Some people would say I'm 22 years or I'm 18 years or I'm 16 years. No, you need to say I am 22 years old because that is the correct way of writing and saying it. It's going to be sunny tomorrow. It's, which is ITS, straight. It's going to be sunny tomorrow. Right? So that is incorrect. The correct way of writing it is it's with an apostrophe S. So it's with an apostrophe S because now it says it is, not just it's. It is going to be a sunny. It's going to be sunny tomorrow. The next grammatical mistake that we make, or that few of us make, is there is 3 books in the box. Remember, we need to know the difference between is and are. Is and are. So there is 3 books in the box, right? And the correct way of writing it is by saying there are 3 books in the box. Because remember, when it comes to is and are's, is we use for anything that is singular, for a singular noun, and are we use for a plural noun, which refers to anything that is more than one. The next one is we met 3 years before. We met 3 years before. Remember, we don't say we met 3 years before, but we can say we met 3 years ago. So ago doesn't mean it is ancient, like long, long ago. No, like if you wanna, count back, right, to when you met, then you can say we met 3 years ago, not 3 years before, right? All right. That's she's bag, handbag. That's she's handbag. Even the way I'm reading it, it doesn't even sound right. That's she's handbag. Right? So the correct way of writing is saying that's her handbag. Right? Because we don't say that's she's handbag because that is grammatically wrong. Right? Then we have another one which says, I like a lot. I like a lot the coffee. I like a lot the coffee. So I like a lot the coffee. So that is not that don't even sound right, right? But the correct way of writing it is saying I like coffee a lot. Like I do. I like coffee a lot. Right? So that is the correct way of writing it. Then we have the next one that says I was boring in class. I was boring in class, right? And remember, we don't say I was boring, but we must say I was bored in class, right? I was bored in class. Then another grammatical error or mistake that a few of us make, I will include myself, is I have been a teacher since 3 years. So that is wrong. I have been a teacher since 3 years, right? So we can't say I've been a teacher since 3 years. It's like saying you were 3 years old when you started being a teacher, right? But we can say I have been a teacher for 3 years, not since 3 years, because then it's like since I was 3 years old. But we say I've been a teacher for 3 years. Now we know, oh, so you have 3 years teaching experience now. You've been teaching for 3 years. Four. And then the last one. And then our last one says, she have gone to the park. She have gone to the park. Remember, also part of grammar and grammatical errors is using the proper words such as have or has, or using the e's and the r's, right? So we need to know when to use it, how to use it, right? And in which context or sentences. So the mistake that we make is saying, she have gone to the park, right? Instead of saying she has gone to the park. All right. So these are but a few mistakes and errors that we make, right? Especially in writing, right? It is grammar or grammatical errors, right, within a text. And it basically just means that we do not follow the standard grammar rules, right? All right, let's look at this for the last time. Okay, so now we're going to look at this one, and then after this one, we're going to aplusstudents.ca, right? Okay, so here are also a few grammatical mistakes that people make, and that is the example that we also made when I said that you use the correct word. It's like not being able to use either there or there, right? Using the incorrect word within the specific sentence, right? So we can also confuse these words, right? I'm not going to use words like infinite, gerund, and base forms. No, I'm not going to go to that. If we look at the word usage, let's go to the second one, right? This is actually what we are talking about, the usage of the word. So I'm only going to go over this that I have highlighted now, or I made a bracket around. So it says Sally accepted a teacher offered to make exam. Or do we say Sally accepted her teacher offered to make exam? Right? So you see, accepted and accepted. Accepted and accepted is basically two words, right? That you would think that is the same. But we need to know how and when to use accepted, and we need to know when to use accepted. Even the way we say it, accepted and accepted. And if we look at the difference between, let's say, the word accepted, and we look at the difference between accepted, right? The difference is accept. When you accept something, right, it's a verb, right? Because I'm accepting something, right? It basically means if you're accepting something, then it means that you are receiving something. That is what accepted means, right? It's like receiving something. So if you accept something, it means that you are receiving something and you're receiving something willingly, right? It's like an example, accepting a gift, right? That is accepted, the accepted, right? And then we have the word accepted, right? And accepted is, it's like where you're not included. So it's like saying Sally accepted her teacher offered to make exam. Because accepted is like saying everybody except you. So everybody can go on the bus except you. That is what accepted is, right? It's like you are not included within something, right? So that is basically usage error, is having to use words that basically either looks the same, sounds the same, right? Or words that are almost the same. It's like when we're using them in the wrong context or in the wrong sentence, right? All right, so now let's go to aplusstudents.ca. We're not going to go over the others because we just wanted to go over usage errors. That's it. So now we're going to correct errors with signs, right? So we're going to look at the signs and we are going to correct the errors with these specific sign. And remember, it's going to be usage errors are those words, like I said, when you use there or accepted and accepted, right? We need to be able to use the correct word at the correct time, at the correct context, right? So if we look at this poster over here, right, or the sign, it says free legal advice. So pre-legal advice is actually pretty free legal advice. You can call 650-555-6174. So free legal advice. We need to correct the one error. If you look at that sign, what do you think is the error within that sign, with that sign or on that sign? All right. So if we choose, or if let's say we correct that error, right, then it means that we need to say it is free legal advice. All right. Advice. So we don't say advise, right? Because advise is when somebody advises you. But now advice is like where I am giving you the advice, right? It's not somebody else advising you. because advice is to give, right? So free legal advice with a C, not with an S. There we have it. Here they say advise should be changed to advice because advise means to just give recommendations for actions, whereas advice means recommendations for action. So advice. Welcome back, students. Welcome back, students. If we look at that board or we look at the poster or something, we need to correct the one error on that board. What is the one error on that board? It says, welcome back, students, Lincoln Elementary School. All right, so if we look at that poster, right, or we look at that board or something, right, if we were to correct the error, right, and then it will be the word welcome. I'm going to rewrite that word, right? So we are going to correct this word because welcome is W-E-L-C-O-M-E, right? So not welcome, not double L, right? It should just be changed to one L for welcome, right? That is the correct spelling. So as you can see, the usage errors, right? It's like it's like simple words that, where we sometimes either misspell or we use a different wording that is similar to the other one we use within that context, right? But usage errors, nothing hectic. All right, let's look at this one. It says, we need to correct one error. We no longer accept personal checks. We no longer accept personal checks. We need to correct one error. So if we look at the word, which word are we going to correct? We no longer accept personal checks. All right, and if we were to correct it, right, then we say we no longer accept. So this word accept, remember we said accept is it's like saying we don't include you, right? So we can say we no longer accept personal checks. Even this word is supposed to be check, isn't it? So check. But I'm not sure because I'm not picking that one up. But check is supposed to be written like that. And this check is like to check your body, check your belongings, right? English can be so complicated. But accept is correct. Now let's go to our test. So now we're going to our test, right? And we are now going to correct the one error in that poster. It says all dogs must be on leashes. So all dogs must be on leashes. We need to select or say what the error is within that poster or with that poster. Is it dogs, number 1, or dogs 19? It says all dogs must be on leashes. So dogs, option 1 or option 2? That is how when we correct that sentence. Not even the sentence, the poster. All right, and if we correct that poster, then we can say all dogs must be on leashes, because apostrophe and is, right? It's like saying all dogs is, right? So we only say all dogs, referring to plural for dogs, more than one, right? And dogs is correct. So well done. We need to correct one error. It says warning. Do not feed the bears. B-A-R-E-E. B-A-R-E-S. They say do not feed the bears. We need to correct that poster. Is it bears, which is the first one? B-E-A-R-S. Do we spell bears like that? Or bears 17? So do not feed the bears. Is it B-A-R-E-S? Do we leave it like that? Or do we fix it and we say it's option 1 or option 2? All right, and if we select and correct the error, and then we're going to correct bears, which is B-E-A-R-S. That is bears. This bear, which is B-A-R-E-S, I think it's like without the S, it's like saying, please bear with me, right? And bears, the first option is correct. Yeah, once again, we have this post, which is welcome back, students, right? We need to correct that one error. Is it the first one, which is welcome, or the second one, which is welcome 16? All right, so if we were to correct the error on that poster, right, is going to be option 1, which is welcome, which is W-E-L-C-O-M-E. All right, and if we correct that error, right, of welcome, right, remember welcome has got one L only, right? So we will go with the first option, which is welcome, W-E-L-C-O-M-E. And welcome is correct. Here it says we need to correct the one error. Shirts to two for the price of one. So shirts two for the price of one. If you look at the word two, it's T-O, right? It's like talking about to or saying to or from. That is the to that we're talking about, but not the two as in number two for the price of one. So if we were to correct it, then we would choose the first option, which is two. It's like saying two items for the price of one. So you have two items that you buy and you pay one price. One, you pay for one. All right, so we need to correct the one error. It says school board meeting tonight at 7 p.m. School board meeting. So school board meeting. And if we choose the word that needs to be corrected, right, then we will choose the word board, because this board, BORED, is like saying, I'm bored, I don't want to be here, right? That is the board. But if we're talking about a board meeting, right? If we're talking about a board meeting, then we'll choose option one, which is board, BOARD. That's a board meeting. We no longer accept personal checks. We did this one. All right, so if we select our one error, right, within this poster, then we will say it is accept. So accept needs to change to accept, right? And that one is correct. Now we're going to correct errors in everyday use. Correcting errors in everyday use. All right, there we have some lions. All right, and it says we need to correct the one error. It says, Dad and I saw so many lions at the zoo today. Do we so many lions or do we say so many? Look at, yeah, we need to change this word. Dad and I saw so many lion at the zoo today. How are we going to change that error? All right, then if we choose the correct word that needs to be fixed, and then it says, my dad and I saw so many, that's when it says, that's when it's saying, we saw so many lion at the zoo today. And if you count the amount of lion that is there we already have 4 lions, right? All right, and if we choose the correct one, then we will say it is lions, right? Because here they forgot to write lions instead of just lion. We need to correct one error. It says, in other words, right? Do you have what it takes to be a champion? In other words, do we say in other words? Do you have what it takes to be a champion? All right, and if we choose the correct one, right? Remember, we don't say in other words. We can say in other words, right? So in other words, not in another words. All right, let's do the last one, then we go to our test. Yeah, the question, yeah, the let's say it's a conversation. This is how are things going over there? Kind of weird. Grandpa's making us sushi tacos for dinner. Uh-oh. All right, so we can say grandpa's making us sushi taco for dinner. So we need to either say what our correct error is. It is grandpa's making us sushi tacos for dinner, which means that our error is grandpa's. Because we needed to put an apostrophe in S. So like you say, if you're saying grandpa's cooking, then it needs to be apostrophe S, right? Apostrophe S. All right, now we're going to our test. Here's a conversation. We need to choose the one error. It says, when are you coming back? I could use some help preparing for the party. I totally forgot that all your cousins are coming too, so I had to go back to the store. So I totally forgot all my cousins. Do we say is coming or do we say are coming or are's coming? We need to choose the correct one. So all my cousins is coming, are coming, or are's coming. All right, so we can say, I totally forgot that all your cousins are coming. Because remember, if we're referring to more than one person, animal, place, or thing, then we say are, right? Is referring to one person. All right, so we can say, I totally forgot that all your cousins is coming. Or coming to. All right, and if we change a few things, I don't know where kinds come in, but it says, okay, let's just go with the first one, right? Because I didn't know where that one was coming from. All right, we need to select the error. Your dog keeps jumping into our pool. So your dog keeps jumping into our pool. Well, to be fair, he is a Portuguese water dog. He is a Portuguese water dog. So your, which is you are. Remember, if we say your with an apostrophe re, right? Then it's like saying you are. Right? So it's like saying your dog keeps jumping into the pool. So we need to change your, which is you are, to your, which is Y-O-U-R. Right? Not you are. And your is correct. Right? Let's do the last one. It says, when are you coming back? I could use some help preparing for the party. I think it's giving us the same one, but it's just giving us different answers over here because here it's not telling us autumn, but now we did this one already. And if we just choose the first one, because it's giving us others. All right, so autumn. This one is plain. All right. All right, so that is our lesson on usage errors, right? We said with the usage errors, it's more like grammatical errors that one makes, specifically different wording that sounds the same or looks the same that we think we need to use in that specific context, but it is incorrect, right? So this is now the end on usage errors. Thank you very much for joining the class, and I really hope you're going to have a good day further or good evening further. Goodbye.